Hey guys, we are going to be going over Unit 10.5, the equation of a circle. And so for the equation of the circle, it is actually this right here. Our learning target is that we can write the equation of a circle and then we can use it to draw the circle. So we can either look at a circle and write it, or look at the equation and be able to draw the circle. So we're going to kind of break this down right here. I'm going to explain these two things that are really the keys to unlocking this. Our center is going to be HK. So when we look at it as a point, it is H and K. I'm going to highlight this, and then I'll highlight H and K in my formula, or my equation. Then the radius right here, oh, this keeps messing up, is R. So I'm going to highlight the R here, and then the R in the equation as well, so you can see where it is. And then we're now going to use this HK and this R to write the equation of this particular circle right here. So my HK in this example is at the origin, or 0, 0. My radius is 1, 2, 3 units long. So let's plug that into our equation. Plug the H, the K, and the R. This is my H and this is my K. And obviously this is my R. So x minus 0 squared, because my H is 0, plus y minus 0 squared equals my radius, which is 3 squared. Okay? And then just remember, like, you know, in normal equations that you see, like y equals mx plus b, the y and the x stay in the equation, and then you plug other things into the m and the b. Same idea here. You're plugging things in for the h, the k, and the r, but the x and the y stay. So x minus 0 is just x, y minus 0 is y, and then don't forget they're both squared, and 3 times 3 is 9. So that is our final answer, and that is the equation of this circle. So let's get some practice writing some equations, and then we're going to point out probably the biggest mistake I see is the fact that these minus signs will change the sign of your center. We didn't see that here because it was a 0, but we will in this next problem. So I'm going to label my H and my K for the center, and I'm going to plug those in. All right, fairly small. So it's going to be x minus whatever my h is, so 2 squared, plus y minus 3 squared equals 4 squared. And then when I rewrite that, I'm going to notice that x minus 2 doesn't change. It's going to stay like that. Y minus 3 does not change. And 4 times 4 will end up being 16. And that is the equation of that circle. Okay, and then for this problem right here, it's a little different. So these are -1 and -4. HK is my center. So parentheses x minus a -1 squared plus y minus a -4 squared equals 2 squared. When I rewrite that, I have x minus a negative becomes x plus 1 squared plus y plus 4 squared equals 4. Okay, so notice the change here. Went from a -1 to a +1, -4 to a +4. So like really that's kind of what you need to look at. You're really just changing the sign. Here was a +2, changed to a -2. Okay, I'd like you to pause the video and do this one, and then when you start it, I will write the answer out. Alright, so hopefully you pause the video. You're restarting it now. So I'm just going to just write it as the answer here. Well, no, I'll write it twice. So x minus 0 squared plus y minus -2 squared equals 3 squared. So it becomes x squared, y plus 2 squared equals 9. Alright, let's go to identifying it on an actual circle. So I have circle A right here. And circle A is kind of on a weird spot, but we're just going to say the center is at -4, -3. Okay, it's kind of on a crazy looking spot, but I think it was just misprinted ever so slightly, because B is the same way. It was just off a little bit. So B, we're actually going to put the center right there. I don't really know what happened to these, but they got off ever so slightly. So circle A, the center is at, actually I'm going to write it over here. The center is at -4, -3. It's my HK. And then my radius is 1 unit away, so R equals 1. So when I plug this in, it's going to be x minus a -4, so x plus 4, you change the sign, squared. Y minus a -3, so y plus 3 squared. And then 1 squared is just 1. So we end up with that. Then circle B is right here. We're going to say that the HK for circle B is at 2, 2, even though it looks slightly off because the circle got moved before it was printed. So x, and then is a +2, so we're going to change the sign to a -2, x minus 2 squared plus y minus 2 squared, and then our radius is going to be 1, 2 units long. So 2 squared is 4. Alright, last one. Circle C. My HK is at 0, -1. So since it's at 0, -1, we have, this is actually just going to be x squared because it's x minus 0, but as you can see that we did up here, it turns into x squared plus y plus 1. Since it's a -1, it turns into a +1 squared, and then the radius, I'm just going to draw a straight line, draw in the radius from the center. 1, 2, 3, 4 units. 4 times 4 is 16. Alright, let's move on to the next page. Alright, my center, now that we identify this, when we are pulling our center out, remember you have to change the sign. So this is a -2, so it's now a +2. So +1 becomes a -1. This right here is a 9, so our radius is going to be the square root of 9, or 3. And now we're ready to draw our picture. So we find our point, 1, 2, -1, and then we find our radius. And when I am drawing these circles, what I like to do is go out all 4 ways, so go 1, 2, 3, and put a point. 1, 2, 3, and put a point. down 3 and put a point, over 3, and I'm doing 3 because that's the radius. And then from that, I want to draw my circle, and it's still not going to be perfect, but maybe it will be better than if I just tried to freehand it. So try to make it look as, circle-y as possible. And let's do this one. Well, this one's pretty easy. The center is 0, 0. The radius is going to be the square root of 25 or 5. And then when we draw this, center's here, and then we go up 5, over 5, down 5, over 5. And there's my circle. Kind of looks horrible, but it is what it is. Okay. Next. And actually, I think it would be good for you to pause the video and draw both of these real quick and then come back and check, because you know how to do it. Just give you some extra practice by yourself. So -3, 1. So remember, you're changing the sign to -3 and 1. And then my radius is just going to be 1. So -3 up 1. My radius 1. Draw my 4 dots. Oh goodness, circle got a little crazy. There's that circle. And then my center is going to be 2, 0. My radius will be 2. So over 2. And then up 2, over 2, down 2, to the left 2. And fabulous. All right, those are the notes for today.